Hi there, my name is Omid, and in today's lesson, we are going to look at a very common mistake ESL students make. We are going to look at when we have the verb stopped and it's followed by either an infinitive or a gerund. Okay? Alright, so let's get started. So, first of all, what is an infinitive? Well, we are talking about when we have two verbs. So, we have verb 1, okay? We have a second verb, verb 2. We have a subject, I, and then we have to. So if you were thinking of English as a mathematical formula, it would be subject plus the first verb, in this case stopped, plus to, plus the second verb. So this is what is known as the infinitive. Now down here, I have what's known as a gerund. So a gerund is we have the subject, we have the first verb, just like above, and we have a second verb. But what you'll notice, first of all, there's no to. And secondly, we have ing. So with gerunds and infinitives, what we are talking about is you have two verbs. Sometimes a verb, the first verb, is followed by a second verb with ing, and sometimes it's followed with a to and a second verb. Okay, so we are going to look at just one verb in this video, stop. Because if we use the infinitive or if we use the gerund, it changes the meaning. So let's get started. I have a sentence here. I stopped to talk. So what does this mean? Well, I have my friend Bob here. I'm walking down the street. That's my first action. I'm walking. And I stop. So first action, in this case, I was walking. Second action, I stop. So I stop walking. And third action, I say, "Hi Bob." So I talk. Okay, so when you stop to do something, it's more than a single action. You're doing something, you stop what you're doing, and then you do the second action. Okay, so we'll go over some more examples with this. Now, I'd like to compare this to I stopped talking. Same words, the only difference is here we have to, here we have ing. Now, what does this sentence mean? I stopped talking. It means I was talking and then I stopped. I'm not talking anymore. So no talking. Okay, let's look at some more examples to understand the difference between these two sentences. Okay, so I now have the sentence, I stopped to smoke. Do you think this is an example of an infinitive or a gerund? Well, if you notice, we have to. This is our hint. We are looking at the infinitive. So we have our subject, I, our first verb, stopped, to, and our second verb, smoke. So what does this mean? I stopped to smoke. Well, it means there's a first action. We don't know exactly what the first action is. Maybe somebody's walking, maybe somebody's working. So we're just gonna guess at this point. We'll say the first action is somebody's walking. The second action is they stop walking. Okay? And the third action is they do this to smoke. So it's three actions. You're doing something, you stop doing it, and then the reason you stop doing it is for this purpose, for the third one. So I walk, I stop walking, and I smoke. This means I stopped to smoke. Okay? So this is different than I stopped smoking. This is an example of the gerund. We have our ing. You'll notice the subject, I, the first verb, stopped, and the second verb, smoking. ing is key here. Okay, so what is the first action? The first action is smoking. So the first action is what you were originally doing. The second action is no smoking. So you stop smoking. I stopped smoking. I don't do this anymore. So I used to, but not anymore. So I have two more examples. I want you to try to do this one on your own. I stopped to ask for directions. Okay? So if you're having trouble, think what is the first action, what is the second action, and what's the third action. I stopped to ask for directions. So the first action, maybe you're driving. We commonly say this when we're driving. Or you could be walking. So first action, second action, you stop the first action, and then the third action. In this case, you ask for directions. Okay? What about the second sentence? I stopped asking for directions. What does this mean? Well, in this case, we have our first action and our second action. The first action is you used to ask for directions. So you used to maybe go up to people and say, where's the store? Where's the library? But now you don't ask for directions anymore. You've stopped asking for directions. Okay? So we could use stopped with many different examples. I stopped to eat. Meaning, I stopped what I was doing and then I started to eat. Or we could say, I stopped eating. Meaning, I used to eat, but now I don't. So I'm not suggesting anyone stop eating. I hope you stop to eat and you don't stop eating. Okay? So again, very simple sentence, but one that's very easy to mix up and to confuse. Be aware that this might be a way your grammar teacher or your ESL teacher might want to try to trick you on a test. They might use a question like this to see if you know your gerunds or your infinitives. Okay? Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for learning important grammars like this. Until next time, take care.